Greetings, everyone, from Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as we get ready to present the last game of the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout. Mike Peeted here with Andrew Onenson, and coming up, it's the feature, the Apple Valley Eagles taking on the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies from Kansas. And Andrew, I know you're looking forward to this, and I think everybody is looking forward to this for one reason: Tyus Jones.
Yeah, the all-world player. He's everything that has been showcased. He knows how to handle the hype, and we're going to be in for a treat tonight as Tyus Jones takes on Blue Valley.
Blue Valley participated in this event a year ago, came out victorious over De La Salle, the team we just saw. Apple Valley coming off a win last night over ECU, only one loss this season, and that was a non-conference game against Whitney Young, a game that was featured on ESPN. And you had a chance to do a little bit of research on Apple Valley. What are you looking forward to out of the Eagles?
Well, besides Tyus, I'm going to look for Brock Bertram. Is that how you say it? I look for him to have a really big game. He's a huge force inside. He's a classic dump it off to my big man in the post and let him work. He has very good moves. He can score from his right and his left hand, so you really can't, it doesn't matter if you can, if you got him backed up on the right side of the post or the left, he can turn around and finish with either hand. So I look for Apple Valley to feature him on top of Tyus Jones. And I mean, they got so many great, even so many great players. They got the best regarded the best 8th grader, 9th grader, and 10th grader regarded in the state on top of Tyus Jones. So this team is very loaded. It's not even nowhere close to all about Tyus. No way.
Not at all. Their starting lineup: Gary Trent Jr., number 2. Tyus Jones, number 21, the point guard, the senior. Another senior, he's a forward, Dennis Austin, number 23. Sophomore center, number 42, Brock Bertram. And number 35, he's a wing, Robert Tabroxson. Blue Valley will get their numbers for you as we move along. They are wearing the white jerseys, Apple Valley wearing the brown. Blue Valley, it's Clay Custer, number 3, getting the start. Number 4, Ben Richardson. And we're going to get the others here in a moment.
Look for Blue.
That's number 2, I should say, Kyle Harrison, also on the floor.
Look for Blue Valley to feature Clayton Custer. He's their star player. He's going to Iowa State.
But right now, Apple Valley has the ball. They came off a huge win over Eastview last night, dominated throughout. Eastview trying to execute the slower tempo, and they just couldn't do so against the talent of Apple Valley. It was a rivalry a couple of years ago when Eastview had Joey King, as Dennis Austin is fouled, will go to the free throw line, but much different story in recent years. To finish out the starters for Blue Valley Northwest, number 24, Vince Fritz, and number 44, David Salak. Dennis Austin at the line, 64% free throw shooter. He averages 10 points a game.
Both these teams are loaded with recruits. Blue Valley, Vince Fritz, he's the coach's son. He's heading to Connecticut. Basically, they got about 4 college-bound players on this roster for Blue Valley, so they're no slouch from Overland Park, Kansas.
Austin considering some junior college schools in his higher education future. He makes both free throws, and Apple Valley gets on the board. Making the baseline J is Vince Fritz. Last year at this event, Ed Fritz, the father of Vince, picked up his 500th career coaching win on this floor.
If I remember that right, didn't they beat De La Salle for their only loss?
They did beat De La Salle, and that was their only loss that year. Tyus Jones going inside. They feed to Brock Bertram, who scores. Bertram 6'11" center. He's as tall as Kevin Love.
And he's only a sophomore. Big future, hopefully, for that bright young kid. He's very vocal.
And has grown accustomed to his role. He was started last year for the Apple Valley Eagles. In fact, the Eagles have a very veteran presence. DeBroxson and Austin and Tyus Jones on the starting unit were all a member of the varsity roster for the 4A state champions. They beat Park Center, a team that had beaten them in a regular season game. There is Gary Trent Jr. making a big impact as a freshman. Trent Jr. averaging 10.7 points per game and is a big outside threat.
Might be a little familiar to Minnesota watchers, the son of former Timberwolves Gary Trent. So it's good to see that he parked his car in Minnesota and had this kid come to school here.
Kyle Harrison on the attempt. That comes up short. Tyus Jones stops. Bounce pass over to Austin. Austin in trouble and couldn't do much with the double team in his face. This is Richardson. Runner. Can't bank it. Gets his own rebound though. And they leave Vince Fritz open on the baseline. He draws the foul and will shoot free throws.
Now, Blue Valley's led by their 3 combo. They got 3 guards, basically, that they roll with a lot, and they're all college bound.
Vince Fritz attending Sacred Heart next season, averaging 12.3 points per game and 3.6 assists per game, the son of head coach Ed Fritz.
That's Connecticut, long away from Kansas. Long way.
Fritz splits there. It's a 6-3 game in favor of the Eagles. Apple Valley's victories, we mentioned they beat Eastview, they beat Osseo to start the season. Bertram's scoring. Actually, they beat Edina to start the season, a state tournament participant a year ago. Bertram getting the rebound off of the Salaknits. Here's Tyus Jones. He draws contact. No foul is called. That leads to a steal for Ben Richardson. He has one-on-one coverage against Austin. He draws the foul. Will shoot free throws.
This Blue Valley team returns their entire roster from last year, which they won the 6A title. So this is a very good, well-balanced team that should give Apple Valley some fits and very, very good challenge.
And Richardson gets on the board.
I look for later in the game if Tyus Jones is gonna stick Clayton Cluster because he's gonna be there. There's basically 2, basically superstar players in this game, and it's gonna be very exciting to see if they match up defensively against each other.
Tyus Jones drawing a lot of contact, and the officials have been letting him play through it, but he draws the foul there. And he will go to the free throw line. Tyus Jones has focused on achieving leadership status over the last couple of years, and this year they're trying to challenge him more defensively, knowing he's going to Duke, and so he will often get the assignment against his opponent's top player, regardless of position. Jones is averaging 27.1 points per game, and his assists are very impressive. He's averaging 8.5 a game.
And what pops out to me is his percentages. He's shooting 50, 40, 90, field goal, 3-point free throw. That's very impressive for an all-world player who handles the ball as much as he does.
Headed to Duke next season, where he will be led by Mike Krzyzewski, one of the most prestigious coaches in NCAA basketball.
He's also the Team USA coach, and
I think he's coming back for the 2016 Olympics.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's confirmed. So he's basically the best of the best coach. He's
has 2 gold medals to his credit, And one of his mentors was Bobby Knight. Remember, he played for him way back in the Army days.
Way back.
On the drive is Clay Custer. He had coverage, but puts it in anyway. Custer averaged 22.2 points last season. Apple Valley on the drive that comes up short.
I love Cluster's game. He has a very good first step. Once he gets by you, that first step is most like, he'll, there again, strong drive from Cluster. He's quicker than fast, if that makes
Foul is on Robert DeBroxson, his first personal. Apple Valley with a 9-7 lead. Eagles making their third consecutive appearance, I believe. They forced the steal. Tyus Jones, look out. If he's on the run, you know what's coming next.
money.
Apple Valley, this is their fourth consecutive appearance in the Timberwolves shootouts. And they are 2-1 in that stretch. Last year they beat Robbinsdale Cooper 80-70 in a game that pitted Tyus Jones against Rashad Vaughn. Richardson with the handle. Finds Fritz over to number 10 for Blue Valley Northwest. That is Dalton Schoen. Schoen gets on the board. And it's an 11-10 score in favor of Apple Valley. Gary Trent Jr. gets the runner to fall.
Gary Trent Jr.
Just a little floater. It's a good kiss.
Zach Goring, the Apple Valley head coach, says you'll hear a lot more out of him when the seniors leave, referring to Jones and to Broxton and Dennis Austin, and you're hearing quite a bit of Tyus Jones in the early going. He already has. Tyus Jones, perhaps one of the most famous recruits. Ben Richardson gets his own miss after the block. He gets his rebound, I should say, and he gets to the line.
And he didn't give up on the play. That was good play by him. He got his shot blocked, and he stuck with it and picks up the foul.
Richardson, part of a core with Custer, Fritz, and Kyle Harrison. They all have played together since third grade.
That's camaraderie. Kansas, that's a pretty big basketball state from what I know.
Kansas last won a national championship in 2008. A memorable win over Memphis. No professional team, but they're diehard college fans on James Naismith Court.
Pretty sure they had Cole Aldrich on that squad.
Aldrich went there. He was a Shootout alumni, and now he's playing NBA ball. Richardson splits there. He has 3 points. Apple Valley up by 4. Apple Valley had a 28-game winning streak snapped in the loss to Whitney Young, but again, that loss was inconsequential. Dennis Austin couldn't finish the drive. Dead ball rebound to Apple Valley. The loss was inconsequential because it was against a team from Illinois in a game that was to highlight the Duke recruits of Tyus Jones and
Jaleel Okafor.
And both put on a show. Jones putting on a show here. He's up to 8. And has a Twitter following of over 25,000. That's double what he had at this time a year ago.
Are you talking about Tyus Jones?
Yes.
Oh my. High school, 25,000 followers. Great shot, stroke
And
it.
Show might get 3 more followers after he banks in a 3-pointer. It's 18-14. Perimeter shooting working very well for both clubs. Austin tried to post up, couldn't do so. Blue Valley on the run. It's Custer. And foul. He will make his stand at the free throw line.
That's what I saw time in, time out when I put the tape on this guy. He's tough as nails. He can finish with both hands. He's a great leader. And Cyclones got him a great player next year as he already committed to Iowa State.
Where he'll be playing with a former Minnesota Timberwolf, Fred Hoiberg, the head coach at Iowa State.
Freddie Hoiberg. He's turned out to be a great coach. I didn't think his career,
His playing career was cut short, and he's getting a chance to with his job at Iowa State. Custer makes both free throws.
And they've actually been relevant. He's taken them to the tournament, and it's great for Clayton.
To Broxson, finds Austin. He's double teamed. Posts up, and it rims out. Rebound, David Salak. Fritz gets the bank. We're tied at 18 with 10:15 left in the first half.
I can't wait to drop that. It's on the Fritz. I gotta find a punchline to drop that in.
Jones can't drop the triple. Blue Valley can't drop one either. Tyus Jones with the rebound. Just 5.7 rebounds a game. And Salak takes the three-pointer. That's actually, it was Fritz, but it's off the mark, and it's picked up by number 25 of Apple Valley. We'll get a name for you in a moment. Tyus Jones up to 10 points. Number 25 for the Eagles is Jordan Bolton, one of the key bench players.
Blue Valley looks pretty tired. They need I think they would prefer a timeout here.
Well, and they are used to this format, playing here a year ago, so they are used to the 18-minute halves in Minnesota high school basketball as opposed to the 8-minute quarters everywhere else. And Kyle Harrison is accustomed to getting finger rolls. We'll have a timeout with 8 minutes and 54 seconds left. The score tied at 20.
It's a good blow-by.
Apple Valley, as we've said, 10-1. The one loss to Whitney Young, a game that is somewhat inconsequential. Wins the season. We mentioned Edina. They beat De La Salle at a neutral site game at Hopkins in the meeting between 3A and 4A champions. And to beat Hopkins at Hopkins, 96-90. And Minnetonka, another one of their victories. It's tough to imagine anyone other than Apple Valley winning the 4A state championship this season.
I'm sure that's Ty's probably number one goal is to get that state title. That's what all the players really worked for hard in the off season, all the conditioning, all the constant shooting reps is to win that title, be champions again.
And Zach Goring has said Tyus Jones could not handle the hype any better than he has. He understands he has a following. Every game he attends is going to draw a significant increase in fans and media from standard games, but he looks at the situation from an adult's point of view. He knows people will be waiting in line to greet him after a game and get requests for pictures, and he doesn't let that inflate his ego. And I remember speaking with them last year after they won the state championship. He was very methodical about it. Double dribble violation on Gary Trent Jr. Tyus Jones didn't make a lot of field goals, but he made all 18 of his free throws in the 4A championship to beat Park Center.
Points is points no matter how you get them, man. That's very impressive to have made all of his free throws in a win.
But as you alluded to, 50, 40, 90 are his shooting numbers. Very accurate. Richardson missing the triple. Jones kicks out to Gary Trent. He can't hit it from the corner. And the rebound by Ben Richardson. Interestingly, Apple Valley has not hit a shot from the right corner. Traveling violation on David Salak. I had a chance to look at Apple Valley's shot chart last night, and 0 for 5, now 0 for 6 on threes from the right corner.
Maybe he's just stopped shooting from the right corner.
Their best marks come from the left wing and top of the key. They shoot 40%. Trent can't hit the long two. Rebound by Schoen. Look who's open for the lay-in. It's Salak.
And Trent did not get his head back. He was the farthest defender down court, and he just didn't even turn around his head to notice that there was already another player behind him.
Salak gets on the board, and Blue Valley with a 2-point lead. Jones, he is drawing a lot of contact and not getting a lot of calls. Clay Custer with the score. It seems we have a loose crew here because he's been getting hit quite a bit, and the officials are calling it incidental.
And it seems every time he's driving down the court, his head's flying or his arms are flying.
Trey Pipkins almost got away with a travel. He gets the rebound, though.
They're not really calling many fouls here, so they're letting him play. Two top teams, they're letting him play, so.
A fairly loose officiating crew, so something that teams will have to adjust. Tyus Jones.
What a pass.
That was from deep in the key. And Cam Kirksey with the score. Timeout. Blue Valley, they lead by 2, 24-22. Blue Valley, you talked about handing De La Salle their only loss of the year a year ago. Blue Valley went undefeated in 2012-13, won all 25 games, and won the Class 6A state title in Kansas after finishing second in the previous 3 years with the number 19 ranking from USA Today.
As a player, you gotta love coming into a season nationally ranked like that and coming off a state championship. It just gives you more to play for. You know, every kid in high school playing ball, you know, they want to, you know, like be that team, you know, that everyone's looking at and getting, you know, media coverage. So that's great that they're coming out and still not slowing down.
And in that 25-0 season, Blue Valley won all but 3 of their games by double digits.
Wow.
Custer, bullseye. Custer up to 9 points. Blue Valley up by 5. Jones feeding Austin. Those two are paired up, and Austin with a nice dish out of the blue.
Trey Jones is checked in for Apple Valley, Tyus' younger brother.
And Jake Reiner was the one who scored.
Trey Jones is actually an 8th grader.
And he'll sometimes back up Tyus at the point. Trey Jones actually came up with a few big steals in the game against Whitney Young that fed Apple Valley's attempt at a comeback. So Trey Jones is not a pushover. He wears number 3. And making the 3 is Ben Richardson. Jones this time draws the foul. And even though they're calling it loose, officials do have their limits, and I think you can only harass a player so long before officials finally will put a stop to it.
And you can hear the Blue Valley coach screaming, double, double. They're putting pressure on Tyus. They don't want him running up the court one man, no way.
Well, everyone had a chance to see him in that game featured on ESPN. Trey Pipkins. I think that shot was a little outside his range, and I believe they're going to hit Dennis Austin on the foul, and they will. That's going to send Brock Bertram back in the game. He'll take the place of Trey Pipkins.
This second, Team 7.
Most impressive about Tyus Jones and the chemistry is Apple Valley is in the penalty here, so free throws coming. Tyus in the summer would participate in the USA basketball camp, so he wasn't able to practice with his players frequently, and when the season comes in, he meshes very well.
It fits right in like they've been playing, you know, all summer long. That's a testament to a very good point guard who can just jump in there like that, not very much time with your players or practice, and the game just looks like it's flowing.
Salick at the line. He has committed to Division II Kansas Power Washburn, not to be confused with Minneapolis Washburn, the local high school. He makes both free throws up to 4 points. Tyus Jones used up his dribble. Bertram is there for the recovery, but he can't finish. Picks it up, and there's your 6'11" frame, highlighting the advantage. Custer to Schoen. Blue Valley with a pretty short rotation in comparison to Apple Valley. Apple Valley not afraid to use 10 to 12 players a game. Blue Valley, we've only seen 6 so far.
And Jones keeping up with Cluster on the crossover. Good D.
Well, Tyus Jones has had some practice. He had to guard against
Jaleel Okafor,
his future teammate at Duke.
And Parker's no slide. Boy's got size. Good, very good ball.
He's got hops too. I watched that game. Harrison throws it away, and Apple Valley's defense comes up big. Austin kicks out, but he traveled, so Jones won't get a chance to shoot the ball. Smaller crowd than perhaps what I anticipated today. Again, weather might be a factor. There's some snow showers going in. It's a little windy, and the cold snap is on its way.
Yeah, it's just a little cold here. Only about 7 degrees out right now. It's not too bad for us Minnesota people.
Not yet.
Monday, though.
Well, even tomorrow. 3:38 left. Blue Valley with a 6-point lead. Doing very well from three-point range. I do notice a considerable increase in media presence at this Apple Valley game, which is common for games at the South Suburban School.
They're resetting. The offense is running through Cluster. He's resetting the offense.
And with no shot clock, Blue Valley, aware of this, having competed in this event last year, are using that as part of their strategy. Three-pointer off the mark from Custer. Jones, no-look pass to DeBroxson. Bullseye. Jones makes the no-look dishes seamless. And it's a 3-point margin. Dalton Schoen with possession, and we talk about this frequently, teams that play slower tempos. 3 points is a bit of a danger zone for them because if they get too accustomed or a little too lax, one mistake and they're not leading anymore.
Just a little less than 2 minutes left here. They're just clocking the ball. If they're not going to go get the ball, then that's what they'll do.
Salick, three-pointer off the heel, and Jones leaps up for the rebound. Austin, that's going to be a charge.
His mind was set up. I did not like that play by him. His mind was totally set up that he's going to take the shot.
And Salick knew his mind was set up.
Player control foul on Apple Valley's Austin. His third personal foul.
He did have a teammate open in the right corner, but we mentioned earlier the right corner shots. 0 for 6. So I guess
Apple Valley in the penalty, but because it's a team control foul, no free throws are awarded. That gives Blue Valley a chance to extend the lead and maybe milk the clock to the final possession. Bertram with the rejection. Gary Trent on the run. He's going to be called? No, a foul was called before traveling. He lost his footing, but he draws the foul and gets the shooting motion.
I wish we could take another look at that one.
Gary Trent, he's a freshman, but for his youth, he's a big guy. 6'3", size 15 shoes.
This Apple Valley team is very talented.
And Zach Goring has noted that Trent has filled the void as an outside threat that Dusty Franck provided a year ago. Lane violation. Apple Valley jumped too soon. It would have missed anyway. And the clock started a bit prematurely. Officials let it go. No, now they stop it. And now they start it. It's an hindsight improvisation there. Had this been a pro league, they would have stopped play and we would have reset the clock.
Yeah, I kind of had to just, like you said, improv it. It's high school.
Blue Valley will hold for the final shot. They'll look to do something with about 10 seconds remaining. Blue Valley in the last 3 seasons, 71-4. All 5 of their starters were on last year's state championship group. Vince Fritz at the top of the key, 7 seconds. Finds Schoen, out to Fritz. He wants the 3, he's blocked, but a foul is called, much to the dismay of Cam Kirksey. 3 free throws coming for Vince Fritz.
That's been about the loudest the crowd has been this whole game, was that foul call. They didn't like it, not one bit.
Vince Fritz with 5 points, as we've indicated, the son of head coach Ed Fritz. And as we noted in the last game, not only do we get to see some top-level talent in-state and outside the state, it's a chance for some of these professional players to get some early scouting with the one-and-done rule in college. Some of these seniors in 2 years could end up on an NBA roster. I know that question has circulated around Tyus Jones. Fritz makes 2 of 3. Jones has to get it off. And it's a little high. But Blue Valley takes a 34-30 lead over Apple Valley in the feature game of the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout. And Blue Valley, not a frenetic tempo, but very effective in outside shooting.
And they played a very great half. Tyus Jones did not really, do much to beat them, and they're up by 4 points. So they got to be loving their effort in the first half. Hopefully, they can continue it.
And Jeff Williams has an interview now with Ed Fritz of Blue Valley.
And we're here with Coach Ed Fritz from Blue Valley Northwest. Coach, tough game so far in the first half.
Yeah, Apple Valley got off to a good start, and we needed to do a little better job at the end of the half. I thought we had a chance to kind of take control, and they were in the 1-on-1, and we didn't do a very good job of that.
And Apple Valley's Tyus Jones is rated number 4th in the country for seniors. How do you contain a guy like him?
You know, we just try to stay in front of him, and we try to help, and he's a really good player, and we're just going to try to do the best we can, and we got some players that aren't bad too.
Last year, here at the Timberwolves Shootout, you won your 500th game. How does it feel to be back?
It's back. Every day I wake up as a milestone, so I'm happy with that. And they treat us really good here, and getting to play against De La Salle was a real honor for us, and this game's a big game for us also.
And then what do you have to do in the second half in order to secure the victory here?
Well, we got 2 guys with 2 fouls. We have to do a good job of keeping those guys out of foul trouble, and we just have to make Apple Valley maybe play at our pace a little bit better than they usually do.
All right, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Jeff. And coming in the booth right now is a veteran prep reporter. We'll give him the microphone here. Tim Layton of the St. Paul Pioneer Press. And you've been at this for, I think, about as long as I've been alive?
Well, Michael, it's been a long road, but I tell you, it's been a great journey. I've been with the Pioneer Press 29 years now, and I know folks can't believe that when they hear that, because they say you must have started when you were 10 years old. No, I'm kidding. 25 of those 29 years have been covering high school sports, and I tell you, it's always fun, great stories to share, and great action from end to end. I've seen this sport evolve over the years, and it's just been a really good time.
So you didn't start out as a paper boy a la Sid Hartman over at your the other paper.
Actually, I did.
Did?
Way back in the day, I started my newspaper career delivering the Minneapolis Tribune way back in the day.
Well, speaking of journeys, you've been witnessing Tyus Jones's journey through his 5-year varsity career, which has culminated so far in an ESPN appearance already. He's been at the Shootout for several years. What has made him such a dynamic player, and how do you think he's handled all of the hype and media coverage he has received, especially in the last couple of years?
What's really impressive and actually pretty refreshing about Tyus is that he's remained grounded through this entire process. In this day and age of kids and the right of entitlement and the all about me society, he has done a really nice job of staying grounded, keeping his roots, and not getting really too far ahead of himself. And he's really evolved as the consummate point guard. He gets everybody involved. He's sort of is like the captain of a ship. He'll take the first half of a game and just kind of survey things. How are things going? Then he makes adjustments, and he's just lights out. That Whitney Young game in December, that's a classic example. Didn't do a whole lot in the first half, just kind of managed things, and then he just went to town in that second half.
I think he had 29 points.
He did indeed.
In the second half. And speaking of journeys, I imagine you've been documenting this journey, the Timberwolves Shootout, in its 18-year history. And what do you think this brings as far as talent, prestige, and some reputation for Minnesota basketball? And how has this event changed the landscape?
This is a real nice melting pot of talent throughout the state of Minnesota. And back in the old days, this was a destination place for an in-season event like this. The Wolves would fly in teams from all over the country. Oak Hill Academy out east would come in and play Minneapolis North back in the old days. And it's just a wonderful showcase of talent. You know, we have college scouts that are here. Richard Pitino was here earlier. Bucky Badgers have a representative here today watching players. So really, this is a nice showcase event, especially in season, before things get too crazy with the postseason.
And I know you have another assignment, so we'll let you go here quickly. But I want to get, if you have any indications, are some teams we should keep an eye on as the second half of the season conference play is starting up in full force. Who should we watch that could be contenders for state tournament play? I figure Apple Valley is among them.
Apple Valley certainly among them, but really this is a nice barometer of sorts of who to watch, because let's take a look at Lakeville North. They played in game 1 today. They've really got a nice club that surrounds JP McCurra. They could be a real issue. Now they play Apple Valley, I believe it's January 14th. That's going to be a great showdown in the South Suburban Conference. Cretin-Durham Hall, though, they played really, really well today against that Bettendorf club, which is a nationally ranked team. Cretin-Durham Hall really is a team to watch as well. Not a whole lot's been being said about them, but they're certainly a club to watch. So this tournament certainly is a good barometer of who we need to watch the rest of the way.
And they get another big test on February 8th when they face De La Salle, the two-time defending 3A champions.
Correct.
Well, Tim Layton, thank you very much. I'll let you get to your other assignment, but thanks for stopping by, and we'll be sure to follow your coverage through the road to the state tournament in March.
Michael, always glad to visit with you.
And I'm sure we'll see each other next summer.
Absolutely. On that Lynx beat. And you do a bang-up job on that as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, got a little bit of champagne on that one. So that concludes our interview with Tim Layton, and Jeff Williams will be speaking with a fellow Jeff Munichie momentarily. We can tell you that Apple Valley trails 34-30, and we're going to have Jeff Williams ready to go, and I think he's ready now, so let's take him to Jeff Munichie, the Vice President of Fan Experience for the Timberwolves.
And right here, Jeff Munichie, the Vice President of Fan Experience and Basketball Academy for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I understand you're the driving force behind the Timberwolves Shootout.
Yeah, so this is the 18th year of the Shootout. It's our labor of love where we enjoy this event as much as anything that we do. It's our chance for the Timberwolves organization to give back to the community and help showcase these fine players and these great programs.
So, were you involved with this from the very beginning?
From the very get-go. In fact, I sat in Dave Thorson's office over at De La Salle, and he and I started brainstorming an idea just to say, man, we got so many great players that people don't know about around the country, so let's figure out a way to help showcase these kids. And so he had some contacts from his recruiting days at the University of Minnesota when he's recruiting for Clem over there. And so he and I brainstormed some ideas. We thought about the teams that we'd like to invite in, and that's how it started 18 years ago.
So out of 18 seasons, what is your probably most memorable experience from any of the games that you've attended?
Boy, it's such a great question. Probably the very first time that we had the very first shootout, we brought in Oak Hill out of West Virginia, a nationally ranked school that hadn't been beat in 2 years. We finally convinced Minneapolis North that they should play. I think they initially thought that, boy, how are we going to play with Oak Hill? We're just a bunch of small town kids here. But Minneapolis North ended up beating them by 25. And, it just really helped put Minnesota on the map.
And then we had quite a game earlier today with one player scoring 39 points.
Yeah, he put on a show. Sam Newman from Cretan, he can really shoot the ball. And I got to go back and look in the archives here a little bit, but I believe he tied the three-point record. We've got a couple other kids that have had 7 threes, 8 threes, and I think we had one other kid, Cole Steffen from Minnetonka, have 10 threes. And so I got to double-check the records in that one.
Okay, and this looks to be a multi-year experience for Tyus Jones.
Yeah, so Tyus is, Apple Valley has played now 4 straight years. Unfortunately, his first year he was not able to play because he had an injury. But obviously he's a showcase performer and a lot of people love watching him play.
So my last question, does this have any bearing on any future draft picks for the Timberwolves?
Well, that's a great question. Officially we can't comment on high school kids as the professional team, but obviously there's some kids out here that we think are going to be playing in the big time here soon.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Sounds good.
Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Jeff, and he may be back on shortly as we get ready to resume action between Apple Valley and Blue Valley Northwest. So let's take a quick look at the numbers for you before we get started. Clay Custer leading all players with 9 points so far. Vince Fritz has 7 to help the Blue Valley cause. Dalton Schoen has a couple of triples for 6. Ben Richardson also with 6 points. And we'll get to the Apple Valley numbers in a moment, but Jeff Williams has Zach Goring of Apple Valley.
And Mike, we're here with Zach Goring from Apple Valley. Coach, it was a neck and neck, up and down ball game for both teams in this first half. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, it's a great game. They're a very good team. They really shoot it well. The point guard's really good. We got to finish better. We're leaving a lot of shots around the rim, so we're going to look to improve upon that in the second half.
And with their perimeter shooting, how do you contain something like that?
Well, you got to sit down and you got to contain penetration. Therefore, that forces them to not be able to kick out for wide open shots. So that's an emphasis for us.
And what can we expect to see from Tyus Jones?
Well, you'll continue to see good play. I mean, he's a great player. He's going to go after it here, and he doesn't let us lose. So hopefully we can keep that moving.
15 more minutes, and we'll find out who wins this one. Back to you, Mike.
Yes, we will, Jeff. And Apple Valley's numbers, Tyus Jones has 10 points already. Brock Bertram has 6. Gary Trent Jr. has 5. And Tebroxson has a triple. You got to witness a few perspectives there, Andrew. And just how does that maybe influence your thoughts on this Timberwolves shootout event?
Well, it's very good to have different, knowledgeable resources come in and tell you a little bit about the event and how it operates and how it's been going. So it's great, man. This event is amazing for the players involved because it just gives them another platform. And we got the recruiters, a lot of recruiters here, people watching. So it's a great experience. And I expect the 2-point guards to go at it this half. It should be a lot of fireworks.
And keep in mind, Tyus Jones does have a second half win. We saw that in the Whitney Young game. He put 29 points down, as we talked about. So Tyus Jones, he'll show off a few moves in the first half, but he is in no hurry to put up individual numbers.
No, he's a true point guard. He doesn't look to, he's not going to force or rush anything. The game will come to him, and it'll be great.
He's a true modern-day point guard. In the old days, as Dennis Austin gets the deflection, in the old days, point guards weren't called upon to score frequently. They were more of the quarterbacks, the persons who set up the offense, and facilitators, but not expected to do a whole lot themselves. And now, with folks like Chris Paul, I think Kobe Bryant's played a little time at that slot. Steve Nash.
Yeah. Darren Williams.
Ricky Rubio, they want to get his numbers up. And then on the female side, Lindsay Whalen, Becky Hammond, Sue Bird, not as physical, but they all understand you not only have to facilitate the offense, you have to create it in the modern era.
Yeah, sometimes your team might be down a few, you might not have as much talent as another team, so it's very important for a good facilitator to make the game easier to their teammates.
Apple Valley wearing the brown jerseys and Blue Valley wearing the whites, and Blue Valley getting the bucket. Clay Custer on the layup.
What a finish. Left hand.
Custer has some moves.
He's very good. Iowa State's got him a really good ball player.
Well, they have a history of getting really good ball players. Gary Trent for three, off the heel, rebound. Harrison. Ever since Fred Hoiberg took over at Iowa State, they've been getting a lot of sleeper picks, I would say. You never think of Iowa State as a powerhouse, but Fred Hoiberg has made them competitive. Ben Richardson, bullseye.
And remember Royce White. A timeout here.
Timeout by Apple Valley as they've given up two triples. I should say a triple and a layup, and they trail by 9. It's worth noting, even though it's academic, Apple Valley trailed by this much in the second half of last year's game against Robbinsdale Cooper. Tyus Jones constructed a comeback. And Apple Valley, as we've said, also familiar with this building, playing here for several years and winning the state tournament championship against Park Center last year.
Yeah, so the nerves, and they're not going to get to this team. So the shots start falling for them, and it's projected to be a great second half if they can work out.
And in our interview with Tim Layton, he mentioned Cretin-Durham Hall as a sleeper candidate. They play in the same section, I believe. So that could be a very interesting sectional matchup. We saw another state tournament foe from last year, state tournament participant, I should say, in Lakeville North. Tyus Jones draws the foul and will shoot free throws. And Lakeville North and Apple Valley playing each other, I believe, one last time as South Suburban Conference members, actually twice. We're going to get a few significant measurements of favorites come state tournament time.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some great matchups to look forward to. This section is going to be, it's going to be great to watch and see who makes it through and wins the state title. But Apple Valley is no automatic here.
They're not automatic, but they will be the favorite considering the experience they have. And all their players are used to it. Last year, the state tournament championship was the first for Apple Valley in basketball. Their biggest claim to fame is wrestling and the plethora of state championships in Class 3A in that sport. Traveling violation on David Salek. It's always good, even if you're a favorite, always good for a school to get a first-time championship, something that hasn't been done before. It gives your school some exposure outside of your traditional coverage, because everyone knows Apple Valley will be good in wrestling. They don't know that Brock Bertram can clean up messes that Tyus Jones leaves.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's only a sophomore. Continue to grow. Apple Valley's got a whale of a player in him.
Zach Goring says he keeps the ball above his head and on the rebound. No three-pointer from Ben Richardson, and Apple Valley will get things in motion with Tyus Jones.
And that's good. Like you just talked about, rebound high above it. That's good fundamentals right there. Not everyone has the right fundamentals. They have the talent, but
Gary Trent gets his own putback. And that's less common than you think. There are a lot of post players at the college and even pro level. As soon as they get a rebound, as Clay Custer completes the drive.
What a drive.
They get a rebound, and then they pull the ball down. They almost want to grip it. Well, then you give your defense more time to reach you.
Yep.
Keep it up. Jones for three. No. Rebound, Richardson. Richardson gets around the screen of Jones and gets the runner. Richardson up to 11, and Blue Valley up 43-35. Free throws coming for Robert Tabroxen. Tabroxen averaging just 5.8 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game. But Zach Goring says his best perimeter defender. He's long, he's smart, and all of those factors add up to him challenging shots successfully.
Yeah, like you said, he's long, lengthy. It's always good to have a player like that who knows his role and is a specialist at a certain thing.
Tabroxen makes both free throws. Apple Valley as a team shoots 74% from the free throw line. And they get 59% of all available rebounds. Tyus Jones getting the steal. He's got open space. Goodbye. It's a 4-point game now, 43-39. Custer has a lane, draws the foul, and one.
What a drive.
Fred Hoiberg's getting a stud, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's showing everyone what he's capable of, and he's makes play after play. He's not backing down from the hype. He don't care about the hype.
High post, low post, top of the key, doesn't matter where he is. He sees the basket, he's driving to it. He has 16 points, 9 in the first half, 7 already in the second half. And the Huskies go up by 7. Gary Trent working around the screen of Harrison, and he will shoot free throws. Trent Jr. coming into this game shooting 39% and a 68% free throw shooter.
Team's third of the half. Trent Jr.
Played on the junior varsity team last year, so he's familiar with the Apple Valley rituals. But in his first full year of varsity, and it doesn't happen too often where coaches put a lot of faith in freshmen and a team that has Tyus Jones and Brock Bertram, but Corey has the confidence. And Trent Jr. has validated those investments in big ways so far.
Yeah, he's been a very good wing player. A pleasant surprise out of Gary Trent Jr.
He has 9 points. We have a 5-point margin. Clay Custer tried to go inside, goes back door, but a traveling violation. He had Salick open behind him.
Eagles basketball.
It's a good find by Custer. It's a good pass.
13 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation in our final game of the Timberwolves shootout. After this, we've got to pack up and make sure the Timberwolves can get their needs met. No three-pointer for Kyle Harrison. Rebound, Tyus Jones. Jones kicks out. Trent Jr. for 3. Rims out.
Double clutch. He almost made that one.
Blue Valley, though, can't get the transition play to fall. And Custer is picked off. And a foul called on Blue Valley. Impressive defense by Apple Valley, avoiding the foul. And they draw one.
Yeah, they've been picking up their energy in the second half. They're, like the coach said, Tyus is hopefully not going to let them lose.
Tyus knows when he has to assume the primary responsibility in those situations, as he did in the Whitney Young game. Hit a lot of three-pointers in that 29-point surge. Tabroxen pump fakes the 3. He finds an open Tyus Jones. He pump fakes. And now Trent Jr. from the corner. Bullseye! You know why he hit it? It was from the left corner, where they shoot about 40%.
It's really interesting. They got Tobertson matched up on Custer. I know he's a very good defender.
And the block. by Kirksey. Runner, no good, but Austin will shoot free throws. Austin, described as the team's vocal leader. He's a great rebounder. We've seen that over the years. And he can't put the dribble and spin move on defenders as we have a timeout. With 11:58 left, and it's interesting you noted the Custer matchup against DeBroxton because it's been Tyus Jones against Clayton Custer for the most part, and we're seeing a different look.
Yeah, maybe the coach wants to put him on for Tyus Jones to have more energy, on the offensive side of the ball. That's what I assume that he's doing. But it's actually a smart plan.
And Apple Valley, they usually clamp down defensively. Their opponents shooting 37% this season. And assist to turnover ratio about even, but on the flip side, for every 5 assists their opponents get, they commit about 8 turnovers.
Wow, that's shocking. That's a eye-popping stat.
Their offense just prolific, 89.2 points per game. Even against slow-tempo teams like Eastview, they still put up 77 points. Their opponents averaging 66.5.
That'll win you a lot of games. And like you were talking about earlier, Austin, their vocal leader, he averages almost 3 offensive rebounds a game. That's hustle right there.
10 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. Makes both here. All his points have come from the free throw line, and we're tied at 46. Apple Valley trailed by 9 early in the second half. Richardson to Fritz for the triple.
He's got a sweet stroke. Some people just shoot the ball and it looks like it's going in. He's one of those players.
And that's what the great shooters have, a fluid motion. Jones, no-look pass to Austin. He used up his dribble and goes back to Jones, where Apple Valley will reset. This time he goes to Kirksey. Kirksey fakes the move and gets the layup. Faked the jump shot, drove inside, and Apple Valley actually scores a lot of their points down there. In the low post, they're shooting about 55%.
It's a very good percentage. Chuck it down in the middle.
Foul called on Gary Trent Jr., his first. Fritz pulling it, bullseye.
He's feeling it.
Fritz thought about it for a moment, decided to shoot it even with the defender in his face, and that is the sign of a confident shooter. Trent Jr. with the counter. And that, if I'm correct, is the first three-pointer Apple Valley has made from the right corner.
From the right corner.
So now they can officially be a three-point threat at all areas of the court. Actually, I have to commend the detailed analysis that Apple Valley coaches give to the media. Not all coaches do that. As Tyus Jones gets the deflection. Goring will make sure you are fully versed in Apple Valley's ways.
Yeah, that's
what the advanced stats he puts in there.
He really wants to, to let us know. I guess, not a lot of coaches do that. They don't, the advanced, no, they just give you the basics. That's very nice and respectable.
Well, everyone's going with the money ball formula. Harrison missing the three-pointer. That was Richardson, I should say. Dead ball rebound to Apple Valley. 9:58 left in regulation. 1-point game, 52-51. In our final game of the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout.
These next 10 minutes, look for Tyus Jones to make a statement.
That would not surprise me. Making a statement there, he draws the foul. That is Blue Valley's last foul to give.
Husky foul number
That's
3.
not,
And
it's
they
not
give
good news.
Tyus Jones the shooting motion, so free throws coming for the 4th-ranked player in the 2014 class by ESPN. As you mentioned, Tyus Jones, 90% free throw shooter. He missed one earlier, but usually automatic.
So he's ranked 5th by Rivals. What ranking is? I mean, what's higher? Who's right? You know, like Rivals or ESPN. It's always been those two. I never can understand if one player's got 4 or 5.
I misattributed his assist. Tyus is getting 5.7 a game. To Broxson with the steal. He'll kick out to Jones.
Oh my God! With the
Good morning, Minneapolis! And that wakes up the target center crowd. Apple Valley with a 3-point lead and a steal by Gary Trent Jr. He'll take it himself. He gets the finish. Trent Jr. up to 17. Eagles up by 5.
what a dunk!
And a timeout by Blue Valley. I hope you set your alarm clock because we officially are on duty now, Andrew.
Oh my God! Tyus Jones looked to take over, and what a statement that was! Clear the lane.
Goodbye. I was going to say, even though I incorrectly attributed Tyus Jones' assist earlier, his assist to turnover ratio is more than 2-to-1. Coming into this game, 92 assists, 35 turnovers. So he's getting about 2.5 assists for every turnover, and that rivals players like Lindsey Whalen, one of the top point guards in the WNBA.
Yeah, it's a very good, ratio. He knows what he's doing. Protect the ball. He's not overzealous with it, not rushing. You love that stat, but man, what a play by Tyus Jones, man. He gave this crowd what they've been waiting for, and they're all over it.
Well, you weren't here for the first game of the day between Lakeville North and Grand Rapids, but in that one, J.P. McCurra had 3 steals and 3 dunks in a row.
Wow.
And that's going to get you to buy tickets for the Apple Valley Lakeville North game, right?
Oh yeah, that came.
Which one? You won't be able to buy a ticket.
Won't even-
You'll have to go to StubHub.
Scalpers on the streets, $100.
No kidding. Tyus Jones.
He's everywhere.
Gets the tip. Doesn't get the steal, but you're right. He is everywhere. Fritz for 3. Short. Bertram traveled. He tried to avoid the out-of-bounds line, but he got off his pivot. Can't fault him for his effort, just couldn't keep his balance.
Good hustle by him. Good thought, too. Pushed it up court quickly, but...
And we know Blue Valley can hit from the outside, so don't count them out, even though Apple Valley is going on a run, or at least appears to do so.
Looks like they're in a zone. Right now, 2-3, Apple Valley playing a zone.
Fritz can't hit the mid-range J. Rebound, Kirksey. Tyus Jones tried to bounce it, but he loses the ball. Blue Valley has numbers. It's Richardson, no. Fritz, no foul, a clean block. I believe Kirksey got his hand on it.
Both teams are on they're all over the court. This is a hustle game. This is turned into a spectacular match.
Well, this is the top team in Minnesota going against the top team from Kansas. And a foul, I believe, will be charged to Blue Valley. It will be, and it's a loose ball foul, so free throws coming for Apple Valley.
Huskies foul number 24.
Battle of the Valleys.
His first.
Where's Death?
And the concern here for Blue Valley, as they're in the penalty, again, 6-player rotation compared to Apple Valley's deeper rotation. They've already sent in 10 players today. Stamina could go the way of Apple Valley.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about that only a 6-man rotation. That's hard to get over, especially because they have 3 guard. they start 3 guards, so it's a little undersized, but they make it work. As Apple Valley leads by 7.
They do. And Jones, I was right. It was 8.5 a game. I got assists and rebounds mixed up. In any case, Tyus Jones is going to set up plays more than turn them over. Just wanted to clear that up for you fans. Custer, that was deflected by Kirksey. Dead ball rebound to Apple Valley. 7 minutes and 22 seconds left in regulation. Fight for the ball. It goes to Blue Valley.
Good play by Tyus, pushing the ball quickly up the court, but his teammate couldn't just hold on to the ball. That's Cam briskly with the turnover.
And as we always say, teams with the slower tempos in a bit of a bind. Fritz is blocked by Kirksey. But Salek is open, off the heel. Rebound, Tyus Jones. He's pulled on about 5 or 6 today. Jones draws the foul, and he'll shoot free throws as Blue Valley is in the penalty. Jones with 17 points.
One thing about Tyus is he seems like he knows where everyone is at all times. That's the mark of a very good player, not just a point guard, but a very good player.
And Zach Goring notes that when Tyus Jones is on the floor, everyone gets something as a beneficiary. It's not just Tyus who excels on the court. He is one of the players who makes his teammates better, much like Rachel Banham for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, Lindsey Whalen. Well, Kobe Bryant when he passes the ball. He actually does have a few assists, though.
Yeah, he does.
Ricky Rubio is someone who makes everyone else better, at least with his flamboyant passes.
Yeah, Chris Paul is a very good,
I'd say Chris Paul is the best at making everyone else around him better, especially when you have a center who only dunks.
Yeah, he came to the Clippers. They weren't, even a playoff team, and now they're one of the elite.
And one of the few to trade for a coach.
Which has actually worked out very well for them.
Jones makes both free throws. He's up to 19 points. Blue Valley looking for the 3, and they get it. But Richardson is short. Rebound, Dennis Austin. Tyus Jones weaving through the hole. Trent Jr. with the clutch move. It doesn't go in. But that is something you rarely see even out of more experienced players. Trent Jr. in the air, and he pulls the clutch move.
And he was lucky to even get the shot up. I thought it was going to be blocked. So
What do you think he picked up those tricks?
Like father, like son. Maybe his father's in the audience tonight.
I'm sure he is. He was at the Whitney Young game. And doesn't get the following that, say, Kevin Love does. In fact, most retired NBA players, once their careers are done, they reintegrate with society. And the players who don't have the multi-million-dollar contracts, at least not the sustained ones, they all take value out of it, and they all credit their time in the NBA for helping make them better people. And Trent Jr. doing just that. In the De La Salle game we call, Malcolm Porter doesn't get a whole lot of time, but his father is Terry Porter, the assistant coach from Minnesota, and once a player for the Wolves and Portland Trail Blazers.
He was a pretty solid player. I'd still be pretty hyped, if I met like a Gary Trent, or even though they're retired. I mean, they're for Christ's sakes. I mean, it's Gary Trent, Terry Porter, man, they're great ball players.
I've met a few NBA vets over the years. Ben Coleman was one. He played for the Sixers for a few years. That's going way back. Richard Coffey played with the Timberwolves for a year.
Yeah, I met Corey Brewer before, but he wouldn't remember.
3 on the way is off the mark from Kyle Harrison. Tyus Jones has Trent on his option. It said he'll pull off the spin move.
Good move on Custer from Jones.
Put Custer on the spin cycle. And Apple Valley with their largest lead of the game. They trail by 9, and we've seen this before. 3-pointer is off from Kyle Harrison. Apple Valley trailing and finding a way to rally back. That is a staple of Apple Valley basketball, not letting deficits affect their mentality. We have a timeout, 5:06 left.
Ever since that dunk from Tyus Jones, this game has been all Apple Valley. The whole momentum is their way. It was game-changing play by Tyus Jones.
Following this game, we ask that you please exit through the concourse level, either down.
We talked last game about the sneakers. This game they got them like you were saying. Just everyone's got their own sneaker.
It's team preference.
If you were a coach, what would you have your team looking with all the same sneaker?
I would leave that up to the players, to be honest. I understand there's team unity, but at the same time, there's shoes.
True. Maybe
you don't go to a basketball game, and I'm not coaching to see what shoes the other team is wearing. I'm trying to beat their rear end. I want to kick them to the curb,
Kick 'em to the curb,
on
yeah.
the court. I'm not worried about their shoes. Unless the shoe flew off and went at my face, then I would be concerned about it.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones leading the way with 21 points, and Gary Trent Jr. not far behind with 17 to lead the Apple Valley Eagles. Clay Custer leads Blue Valley with 16, but they have not scored in some time.
Two marquee players are matched up against each other right now.
That is the key matchup, and Tyus Jones taking a lot of checks from Clayton Custer, and as you pointed out, officials letting them play through it. He finds a wide open Gary Trent, but he can't hit the three-pointer. Rebound, Richardson. And Blue Valley can't afford to kill clock here if they're looking for a win. That was their style in the first half, but you're trailing by 11. You've got to score quickly.
And they got to push to get some points going here.
Apple Valley will take this. They jam the left side. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Apple Valley.
Jump ball, possession, Apple Valley.
It's our final game here at Target Center for the day, but we'll be back next week on the broadcast schedule. It won't be live, but it will be pretty close to it as we head over to the north side of Minneapolis as Tyus Jones, to Broxton, tried the bounce pass of his own. Tried to do a little bit of a Tyus Jones dish there, and traveling is Kyle Harrison. But the next game we're doing is Friday at the north side of Minneapolis, a conference game between Minneapolis North and Minneapolis Henry. Minneapolis North doing pretty well with Larry McKenzie in his first season, leading the Polars.
Minneapolis North, a good team, solid coach. The coaches came in and
they have revitalized a program that was historic in the 90s.
It's always good to try to get that prestige back.
Kyle Harrison commits the foul. Tyus Jones goes to the line. Now, highlighting family connections a little bit with Tyus Jones as he's taking a look from Broxton. Tyus is the nephew of De La Salle athletic director Darcy Cascais, and Kyle Harrison fouls out of the game. He'll finish with just 2 points. So a bit of a family affair between the two schools.
Tyus Jones at the line, shooting 1 and 1.
So you see Tyus here. He's all of what we expected. And you've seen his younger brother.
You saw Trey play a little bit.
More than me.
I'm sure Trey, well, he doesn't get a whole lot of time, at least not yet, but he's an 8th grader. He's got a lot of time, and he certainly has a great mentor in his bloodline. And when Trey is ready, he'll take over the leadership mantle for Apple Valley. And depending on what happens, it's too early to speculate with high school basketball and graduations and transfers. But Trey Jones could keep Apple Valley as a perennial contender in 4A because a lot of schools, they ride a wave of maybe 1 or 2 players and that's it.
Yeah, Apple Valley's in a very good situation in the next few years, even with the departure of Trey Jones.
Tyus.
Jones, yeah.
No, Trey's hanging around for a few
Trey,
more
yeah.
years unless he transfers. I'm sure Zach Goring will make sure he doesn't. Offensive foul on Clay Custer. And Apple Valley looks like they're going to pick up their 11th win of the season and their first against an out-of-state opponent. And also their last. From this point on, Apple Valley will be playing South Suburban opponents, which they are actually looking forward to because of the schedule and all of the games they've had with these top contenders. Goring has said they haven't played with a lot of rhythm. Whereas conference play, as Tyus Jones drains the jumper, conference play you play on Tuesday and Fridays, you can get a routine down. You've been playing every day of the week, Monday, except for Sundays, Monday and Saturday and Friday, no consistency in the schedule. Not that it's affected them much.
It'll be a good, to get back into the normal swing of things and their normal opponents.
Getting the putback is Salick. That brings him up to 6. Zach Goring said his players enjoy the experience, even though sometimes they'll get a little more pressure than other teams do because of the following they have. As we mentioned, Tyus Jones, when you have over 25,000 followers on Twitter, a few of them are going to come to your games.
And that's a very big amount for anyone. Let alone a high school athlete. So he's very popular in, especially in the state, but nationally he's been getting a lot more exposure.
Trent Jr. with the steal. For Apple Valley, it's another quality win in a growing list of them. And for Blue Valley, what do you think they take from this game as they suffer their first loss in a long time?
Well, they can't hang their heads here. Apple Valley is a champion, and they came in and they didn't get, they're not. It's not a blowout.
Nice dish from Austin to Bertram.
But yeah, it's not a blowout. Clayton Custer did as much as he can, but it was just too much defense from Apple Valley. Very good. There was a basket right there by Custer.
A basket? What is a basket?
A basket by
Custer. Is that going to be a new term like ginormous that gets dictionary certified?
The basket is good.
Tyus Jones hit with his third personal foul. Custer scored the last basket and brings him up to 18 points. And that last Apple Valley play, you saw a microcosm of what 2 low post threats can do. And Dennis Austin can set up as well as score himself, and Bertram's going to come back next year, and he has height that few other teams have. And Kirksey with his second block of the game.
What a block, but yeah, Brock Bertram, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next 2 years in this conference. People are going to have to watch out big time for him.
There's going to be more staying power than I think some casual folks will give Apple Valley credit for. And they're going to have all this experience, winning a state championship last year. Who knows what will happen this year? Maybe they come back. But once you get past that hump, you understand the effort it involves. And for these guys, I don't think they're concerned at all.
No. And it's not like, I'm not going to say that I expect to, win, but winning it last year and going through all that, they have a lot more a feeling and understanding of how it is to win the championship. So this team is going to go very far, I'm sure of it.
Fritz will pad his numbers. We have one more timeout here with 1:31 left as Apple Valley will move to 11-1 on the season, getting a win against an out-of-state foe. And that Whitney Young game, even though it was an 80-70 loss that ended Apple Valley's winning streak, again, not a very consequential loss, but Goring said it was a great experience from the school. He gave a lot of credit to their athletic director for preparing for the onslaught of media and the ESPN crews. Mike Krzyzewski was there to watch his 2 recruits, Parker and Jones, and perhaps scout some future members of the Duke Blue Devils. And he said the most helpful element of that game was Whitney Young's 2-3 zone. It was long and big, bigger and longer than most schools. But it only helps them when they have to face perhaps a similar formation against Minnesota teams.
That's good when you have, when you can go and play something like that, and then it can later on down the line help you pay big dividends to your ball club, and especially against a team like Whitney Young. I mean, if there's one team that you want to play against, and actually running his own, why not one of the best? And
That was a fun showcase to watch.
And I didn't get to drop my Fritz is giving the Apple Valley, their coaching staffs on the Fritz. I didn't get to drop that in, so.
Maybe if Blue Valley comes back next year, you'll be able to drop that reference in.
Northwest foul number 24, Fritz.
1 minute, 16 seconds left, and after this, we'll hopefully get an interview with Jeff Williams and a post-game chat, and then we'll wrap it up here from Target Center as we, so we can clear out in time for the pros to come in and do their work. Tyus Jones, standard fare, but his standard is a very high one. He has 25 points, make it 26. His free throw percentage will come down a little bit. He's missed a couple of them, but Apple Valley will get a convincing quality win, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, very,
Show with the tray. That's his third of the game.
They're on the 2-game losing streak, so it's very good to get on back in the W column.
Well, they actually have won every game since the loss to Whitney Young. The only loss of the season was against that school.
Whitney Young?
Yes. And since that game, they have won their last, I want to say, 3.
Jones at the line.
And Jones will have a chance to add to his numbers.
I wonder if that dunk's going to be on ESPN, man. That dunk was amazing.
Well, if I can send it to them in time, perhaps. And you don't see that out of Tyus Jones too often, playing the point guard role, but he does have a vertical and will occasionally exert it.
And he sure did. And what a day to
You
do
expect
it.
something like that out of Brock Bertram because of his height.
Height, yeah.
But these guys have hops. Makura, Jones, a couple of Grand Rapids players had a throwdown in that first game of the day. Jones with that pair of free throws brings him up to 28 points. And some new players coming in for Blue Valley as they sub out. That was Tristan Hull with the attempt, and let's see what Apple Valley does here. They may elect to run out the clock with 35 seconds and the game out of reach. Well, Andrew, you finally got a chance to see Tyus Jones and company. What do you make of Apple Valley and their chances of winning for a state championship?
I think they have a very good chance, especially led by Tyus. He's everything that is advertised. He can handle the hype. He's a very good floor leader. He is not arrogant at all. He doesn't complain when he doesn't get the call, so I was very impressed with this team.
And I can only expect further success when he goes to the blue and white of Duke under the leadership of Mike Krzyzewski. The buzzer sounds, Apple Valley with a 72-59 win to move to 11-1 on the season and conclude the 18th annual Timberwolves Shootout. Jeff Williams will have a post-game interview in a moment. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. Tyus Jones leading the way with 28 points. Gary Trent Jr. chipping in 17. Brock Bertram with 10. Robert Tabroxson with 7. Dennis Austin with 4 points, all from the free throw line, but he was pretty vital. Blue Valley led by Clay Custer with 18 points. Vince Fritz had 13 points. Dalton Schoen had 3 triples for 9 points. Ben Richardson with 11 points. And as we wait for Jeff, your thoughts of the shootout, Andrew?
I couldn't have gone any more better than I want. Both games were very good. This game lived up to all expectations. Custer is a player that can really play. I look forward to seeing him next year at the college level, and Tyus Jones is everything expected. Apple Valley's got a very good future.
And don't forget, there's a few more games in the regular season that await us. So, Jeff Williams, I believe he is ready with Tyus Jones of Apple Valley. Let's throw it down to him on the floor.
And we're here with Tyus Jones. Tyus, you're not a stranger to the Target Center now, are you?
No, sir. No, sir. We won a state championship on here last spring, so, we like this court.
How many times has this been for the Timberwolves shootout for you?
I'm playing. Our team's been in it 4 times here with the injury.
Well, I noticed with your performance tonight that you're now going to be one of the individual top performers listed on the scoreboard. How does that make you feel?
As long as our team got the win, I'm just out here trying to help our team win and do whatever I can to set people up and make plays.
And then the second half, you really just took control. Was there something that just really got into you to motivate you to even improve your performance even more?
Just coming down the stretch, and we got down 9, I think it was, and I knew we all had to step up our intensity, and I know that starts up top with me as the point guard. So we just wanted to, sit down and get stops on defense, and then, I just decided to take what the defense did.
So with Target Center, is this now your playground?
I like playing here. It's always fun to play at, the Target Center.
All right, well, congratulations on the victory tonight, and look forward to seeing some more impressive performances down the stretch in the season. And good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyus. Mike, back to you for the conclusion.
Thank you, Jeff. Once again, Apple Valley with a 72-59 win. And Andrew, had a lot of fun. You want to come back here next year?
Oh yeah, this is amazing venue for the players, the coaches to come out and show that they have talent and they know what they're doing. The fans were good. Even I expected it to be a little louder, but hey, it's cold, it's snowy, so they did what they can.
When they come back in March, you may see that following. There was a near sellout, upper and lower deck, at the 4A championship last year when Tyus Jones picked up his first one.
Oh, wow.
So give yourselves a little time. We might see a sellout here before we're through. But we are through here at Target Center. Now the pros take over as the Wolves and Thunder take the floor in a few hours. Thank you for watching our coverage of the 18th Annual Timberwolves Shootout. For everyone here at Prep 45, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the state tournament.